Hi there. Thanks for joining us. My name is Scott Brennan and I'm here with Ian Sutherland. Hi, Ian.
Hi there, folks.
We are coming to you from the prayer room on Holy Island. This is where the community of Ian and Hilda has a prayer room and we meet and do our rhythms of prayer on a daily basis.
Indeed.
And Ian and I are having a conversation about soul friendship.
Yes.
So this is the first one. So thanks for joining. And Ian, I don't know, we're going to try and explain a little bit about what is soul friendship, aren't we?
Yeah.
What was your experience of soul friendship like?
It's been very helpful. I think the notion of when I was growing up was almost a sense of being a Christian and working it all out for yourself.
Yeah.
If you do A, B, and C, then hopefully you get D and E. It was actually into ministry that I realised, one, that I'd not been intentionally discipled by anyone, as in
Right.
somebody moving me forward in life and faith. But discovering soul friendship, where I could invite somebody to speak into my life, to give them permission to challenge me, to point things out, but actually to be with me and for me.
Yeah.
Has been wonderful because it's there's an accountability, not in a heavy sense, but just I know somebody was going to ask, but equally somebody I could turn to who knew me, I could trust,
Yeah.
and who could really help.
They've got your back.
Yes, and that sense that by giving them permission, then they could say things that other folk might not want to say or not like to say, and it's not always comfortable. But
Can I give you an example?
Please do.
Ray Simpson, who many of you will know, was my soul friend. And when I came to the idea that I'd live on Holy Island, I was very excited about it.
As was I.
And
Yeah.
you were excited about me living on Holy Island.
Well,
But you living
as
on
well,
Holy
but also I want that passage. Absolutely, I get it.
And I went to see Ray, who is my soul friend, and I thought he'd be like, "Oh, how wonderful, how great!" And he actually said to me, "Are you making sure that this is not your ego?"
Yeah.
So he, as a soul friend, he asked me that tough question.
Yeah. And people will ask tough questions in life, but knowing somebody who, as I say, who's got your, as you say, got your back and is with you and for you, it's such a safe place and a place where you can then be honest with each other and be honest about this is what it is without having to feel you've got to impress them and in a sense
And are you saying then that it's quite rare to have soul friends? Do you think there's a gap?
I think so, for a few reasons. One is it's something that kind of had dropped out of the Christian church or out of the
Certain traditions, certainly.
certain traditions.
Yeah.
It became so in a sense it was something that people might have but not call it that, but actually it was quite rare because again there's this sense of the group will see to that or it will happen. So when I say I wasn't discipled, I realised that actually that God had brought particular people or teachings or books into my life, but when realising that it was that actually I could invite people into my life, invite people to speak in that way, and one individual in particular, then that was transforming. The other side of that is that where it has been in the past is it was formalised into you need to be trained to be a spiritual director or a pastoral supervisor and skills are important, but it's less qualification and more relational and less functional and more about
And you actually made a really good point there. You said in some ways you were soul friended by books, and so I suppose what we're saying is that it's not a one size fits all.
No.
That that you can receive input from people you've never met through their books or their podcasts or whatever. But what we're talking about is a kind of one-to-one personal agreement.
Yes.
Like a companion that walks with you. That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. And that would be, and that's that. To state the obvious, is incarnational. It's life on life.
Right.
It's two are better than one. All those scriptures and all those teachings that we're aware of this relational connection, and the fact that it's it can be done remote, it can be done online, but I meet with my soul friend, and it's wonderful just to be in the same room and to share what's going on in
Most
life.
of mine is done online.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do have some time one-on-one, but and how did you actually find a soul friend?
It grew out of a relationship through ministry, through experience, through journeying together in the same denomination, but actually connections.
Someone you knew.
Someone
already.
I knew, but it grew and became natural that we could talk to each other, be open with each other. But actually, I asked that next step of, would you be soul friend?
Yeah.
And so it's.
But something must have motivated you to think this matters.
Yeah.
Or this is important. I certainly for myself, as a leader, I realised I need that kind of input. I think the other thing was that because Ian and I are both part of the community of Ian and Hilda, when you read the stories of the Celtic saints, they had soul friends.
Yes.
Was it Bridget who said, a person without a soul friend is like a body without a head?
Yes.
Did something motivate you to pursue it?
Well, reading stories like that and hearing about people talking about it and actually making it, in a sense, it was a friendship, but I asked for it to be a bit deeper and a bit more than that, and to acknowledge.
So you give it some structure.
Yeah, to acknowledge it. Yeah, so there's an intentionality to it. The rest would maybe be a bit more ad hoc.
Yes,
a bit more here and there. Whereas this was actually, I'd like to meet regularly. I'd like to be able to share with you, but also invite you to speak into.
Yeah.
And what do you see, and what what might be helpful.
It's like a buddy system.
It's a buddy system, but equally within that, the kind of safety net is not being told what to do or what to think.
Right.
Because then that's another thing, and again that's why we need to be cautious and careful about how we define soul friendship.
Yeah. So let's have a quick foray into that then. So we're talking about someone who is probably a good listener, who has a kind of non-judgmental view, who's got your heart as their best interest. They've got your back, to use that phrase. Yeah. It's that kind of person, isn't it? So we're not talking about necessarily a formally qualified kind of spiritual director figure. It could be someone who's a peer or just maybe a page ahead. It could be that, couldn't it?
Absolutely. I think what's more important is that they themselves are, and use that phrase, a practitioner, that they actually live this. They live a rhythm of prayer. They
so
live.
It's authentic.
So there is an authenticity. Plus, they themselves have experienced good soul friendship, and have actually, so it's
been modelled to them, so they can model it to others.
I think so. I think that's really helpful. Some of those skills that come out of training can be really helpful.
Sure.
But I think much more importantly is the skills without necessarily the certificates or all those elements.
Well, you can have the certificate and not be a good listener.
What's that? Yeah, absolutely, and it is about that. It's about it's about setting the parameters. So there's a kind of there's a formal element and intentionality, but the clue's in the name. It's about friendship.
Yeah.
And I'm soul friend to a few other people, is that I get permission. I've asked for permission, and they've given me permission to ask, "How's your soul?"
It's a great question, isn't it?
Not your ministry, not your.
Yes.
How is your soul?
Yes.
Are you getting times of retreat? Are you all those kind of things?
Yeah.
And in a sense, they're inviting me to ask that question.
And when I do soul friendship, especially with church leaders, I say I'm not so interested in what you do. I'm interested in how you are.
Yes.
It's more about being than doing.
Yeah.
That's key, isn't it?
It is, and I think and we need that connection. We need that support, that accountability, that whatever the language we want to use, and there are clues all through the scriptures. I mean, not least that Jesus sent them out, the disciples in twos.
Yeah, true.
So,
and what I love is in Paul speaks to Timothy. He actually calls him a spiritual son, but he says, "I have not found someone as equal souled." Isosuke is the New Testament Greek. If I'm going to be geeky about it, equal souled.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when you look at the Celtic saints, of course they had soul friends, and then when you look at the Desert Fathers, I've just done a little bit of a deep dive into Antony of Egypt, and then into some of these, father figures and mother figures, and they all did soul friendship.
Yes, yeah, and so I think there's great things to be learned there from our heritage, from our tradition, and that to be a living thing, an organic thing, and something that does grow over time.
Yeah.
And I think that
and it's not legalistic. It's got life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are great traditions, but the best ones are living traditions that actually have life and meaning and actually are relevant to today.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing I think about soul friendship in today's culture is that there is this individualism. I remember Ray talking about that, about this whole thing about being individualistic, and actually the notion of community and at that deeper level of soul friendship is really vital as an important...
It's quite countercultural.
I was about to say that. It's literally countercultural.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Ian, thank you. That's a great start. This is the first one in our series. We don't actually know how many we're going to do, but I hope you enjoyed that. If you've watched this and you've got questions, just put something in the comments and let us know. But hopefully we'll see you again. Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Scott.